Ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́ ní gbogbo ìgbà tẹ́ bá ń wò mí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Ètò yìí la mú wá sí etí ìgbọ́-yín jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ tẹ́tí kẹ́ bá wa wo àwọn fídíò yìí. Ẹ bá wa like ẹ share ẹ dẹ̀ subscribe sí channel wa. Ẹ kú ojú lọ́nà o.
Oscar from start to finish.
Start to finish.
Yes.
That one start to finish.
From start to finish.
While the other boys hostel, he came to lay the foundation, add dates to the money. So his name is also on the wall there. So you see, Dominican College is His Excellency from the beginning, from Genesis to Revelation. That's why we are welcoming him back home.
Back home.
We are dealing with Sister Ben.
And you know, we had armed robbers that came to attack us. His Excellency came at 4 a.m. when we called him. 4 a.m. to come and see us. Himself? Yes. That's why I'm saying a lot of stories. When fire gutted the convent there to the ground, he came early in the morning to come and see the sisters and rebuilt the house. You have to see that convent from start to finish. He rebuilt it for them.
You started the song, bro. Hey.
He's the student.
On a closing note, again, I want to appreciate our President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for this very audacious step. I believe that this is probably one of the strongest steps that his administration has taken towards confronting insecurity in Nigeria. And history will be kind to him. Again, he has demonstrated that he is, like Baba Shoba said, a true federalist. If a president can decide on his own, he wants to devolve law enforcement powers to the federating states. Like Professor Suludu also said earlier on, that he's always known him to be a very big apostle of federalism. Now, having said that, I believe that we need to ask ourselves and we need to answer. One of those first questions is, why has the existing Nigerian police force not been as effective as they should be? So in curating, in finalizing this bill, to answer that question. How can we make for a more effective state police and a federal police? The second question is issues to do with what happens when the state police become very effective. They are dealing with issues of cultists, they are dealing with issues of vandalism, they are dealing with other interstate crimes, they are dealing with issues of farmer herders in their various states. And with more effectiveness means they are incarcerating more people, and those people will need to be given fair hearing speedily. How do we ensure that they get that fair hearing? Are our courts ready for that process? Do we have the judicial? Is there a need to restructure the judiciary? Like one of my colleagues also remarked, land disputes will be, dealt with by the state police. Do those disputes have to go all the way to the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court? Or do we now have states' courts of appeal? These also need to be interrogated. Now, we also need to look at the issues that lead to these crises in our various states. They will also border on food security. So, in the last few years, we've seen how issues of farmers and herders have continuously degenerated. And in some states, it has led to food insecurity. How are we dealing with this? So as we move to resolve policing, you must also look at how to resolve the crisis that would lead into the police having to attend to them. How do we resolve the issues of farmers and herders? Again, I believe that issues of revenue and fiscal mobilization have to be addressed. How do we fund the state police? Yes, we've had different contributions and suggestions that they must be funded by a mixture of IGR funding, FAC funding to the various states. But we all know that different states have different capacities to generate IGR. Different states are earning, there's a discrepancy. I mean, look at the state like Ogun State now. Ogun State is the fastest growing economy in this country by any standard. We are the industrial capital of this country by any measure. And yet, if you look at what we get in terms of FAC, we are probably on the last three, bottom three. So these issues have to be addressed so that we can ensure that every state can adequately provide for their state police. And we don't have a situation where one state has the capacity to, and the other state, of course, does not have the capacity to. Again, the issues that have been raised by Senator Apoti, issues of governance, issues of abuse. So we need to begin to look at how to ensure that we have an independent police complaints commission, even at the various state levels. I'm aware that part of our discussions have included ensuring that we have the participation of not just the governors, but also the legislative heads, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Senate President, in the new police council that President will be chairing. And also the fact that the tenures of the police commissioners will be one term. And those one term would ensure that one police commissioner has not become so domesticated and is beholden to a particular governor to the point where he can be used to abuse the citizens like she had, of course, alleged. So on that note, I believe that these sort of town hall meetings and engagements are extremely important. And I want to thank the chairman of This Day and Arise, Otumba Nduka Obaigbina, for again championing this. We should have many more of this, because over the next 7 weeks, as we deliberate on what the amended bill of the Police Act would contain, we must get this kind of feedback from Nigerians. Thank you very much, Arise and this day, for having me. Thank you very much, Baba Shoba and the rest of my colleagues. And
adverts, colourful packaging, names like cotton candy, that kind of thing. All of that is very clearly targeted at children and young people. And whilst vapes play a really important role in helping adults to stop smoking so they can switch from cigarettes over to vapes, when it's young people, we don't want them to start vaping in the first place. So this is one part of what the government is doing to make sure that they're not promoted to young people by removing the colourful packaging, putting it in just white packaging, making sure the vapes, rather than being colourful devices, are just black or white or grey, and also making sure that it feels much more like cigarettes, where the vapes are behind the counter, they're not advertised at the front of the shop. You'd have to ask the shopkeeper to sell you a vape rather than them being more easily accessible, and making it much more like cigarettes are at the moment.
Here at this World Cup. Can you tell us just how much excitement is there back in Norway at the prospect of playing England in this huge occasion?
To win against Brazil and then go and play England in the quarterfinal in the World Cup is quite special. And I think if you watch at the scenes back in Norway, this is not normal for Norway to be. So it's super special.
Is all the pressure on England, do you think, because they are seen as favourites? And can you take advantage of that?
Yeah, definitely.